all you need to know, Marcus, is that Bob Melvin walked in here with a fungo. All right? That's all you need to know.
And all we need to know is Bob Melvin walked in about 2-3 minutes early, which seems like a common theme so far for spring training. We've heard Logan Webb talk about it, timeliness, and how important that is this year for this team, Bob Melvin.
Might have been the first thing I brought up. So there's some structure to that, right? There's some discipline to it. And, you know, if 15 guys are on time and 3 aren't, it's just disrespecting your teammates. So it kind of all starts with that with me. If I'm ever late, it will because somebody's called a meeting that made me late because I tend to be on time.
Or a couple radio guys went too long with you.
Yeah.
That would be it
There you go.
By the way, you out hitting fungos? Or is that just decorative?
Yeah, I will. I definitely will. I got a little shoulder thing going on right now, but I'm a few days away.
Okay, so we only had this first full squad. Official workout was Tuesday, right? First game is Saturday. Is there anything you can tell us? We talked to you last Friday. Thanks for coming on KNBR, and here we are again. What's changed since last Tuesday? What's gone on in that clubhouse?
Well, look, we're kind of trying to get to know each other, right? We got kind of a new leadership group in here, and not a ton of turnover except for kind of some of the coaches that I brought in. There are some new players in camps. We've had some really good signings up to this point. But really, for me, the support staff, you know, the trainers, the clubhouse people, the front office have made it such an easy transition for us. Myself, Matt Williams, Brian Price, Ryan Christensen, that it really, we felt like we've been here a while already. So the transitions up to this point has been great.
We talked to Matt Williams about this, and, you know, I know it's a business, and you've been around the league. You've worn many hats and uniforms, but was there any chance that you got back to the romance, the love of the game when you pulled on that black and orange right there?
For sure. I mean, I remember the first time I was a Giant, I kind of snuck into the corner and checked out mirror, you know, got to put on the uniform of a team that I've watched, you know, for how long, right? So probably the same thing happened here first time I put it on here at camp as well.
Yeah, and Scottsdale Stadium itself. Now, when you first came here, same property but different. The wooden bleachers, I think, used to be out
wooden
here.
Fences, and it was 400 plus everywhere. So I like to use that as an excuse why I could never hit a homer here.
But the actual, like, kind of the angles and the light bringing you back and everything.
All the same, yeah.
Oh man.
And Bob, you talk about the significance of wearing San Francisco and the Giants on your chest. Now, that's something that you know well. It's something that Matt knows well. It's something that Pablo Sandoval knows well. Right. So talk to us about that transaction and bringing Pablo back to the squad.
Yeah, look, he was eager to get back, and the guy's just a baseball player, so he's going to play baseball as long as he possibly can. And watching him swing out here, there's still a lot of pop in his bat. He still covers a lot of area. You know, he's up for doing anything, playing first, third, DHing, and came in here with the eye of the tiger. I mean, it's like, you know, he thinks he's going to make a team. And look, he's going to make it. My guess is he's going to make it pretty hard on us too. But just to have him around too with some of the younger players, and kind of some of the things I was speaking to my first day was, look, we're in an organization. This is a signature organization here. And there's been a ton of success. There have been great teams. There have been outstanding players. And that's kind of a foundation that you need to feel. It's kind of a rock that you're standing on that motivates you and inspires you, that, you know, you're the next team that, you know, in an organization that's been, you know, everybody knows, right? The players from Willie Mays to Barry Bonds to Will Clark to Buster Posey to you name it. So I think these guys need to know that.
Yeah, Bob Melvin is the voice you hear. And by the way, we make it official. You did take number 6 back from Casey Schmidt. Mm-hmm. Is that okay? Is that all right?
It's all right with me.
Casey told us he's wearing 10 now.
Yeah. Looks better on him.
The guy we had in here who really fired me up was Matt Williams, and you said to us off the air he fires you up too. Can you expand on that?
Matt Williams is all baseball, and he's all Giants too. So the fans know who he is. He was one of the great players. I should have added him in when I was talking about that too. But he's just a pure baseball guy, and you know there's a demeanor. There's an expectation that he brings to his infielders, and you feel it before you really even talk to him. You look at him from afar and you'd say everything's business and those steely eyes and that, you know, the competitiveness he has and everything. But when you peel back the layers and you talk to him, you get to know him as a person. He's just a great guy too. So he covers all of it as far as what players respect and like, and you know, when you have a Matt Williams on your staff, you know that things are going to go pretty smoothly.
Yeah, and we talked to him earlier about how he's a great example for guys like Casey Schmidt or even Marco Luciano or some of these young guys on this team. Now, last year, I know that there was a focus on defensively and some of the issues that the team had. How big of a priority is that for you and Matt to focus on improving defensively this year?
Well, we're both all about defense. If you ever look at the back of my baseball card, it better be about defense. So, and Matty, he's a Gold Glover, made the first day he stepped on the field, and he went through his struggles early on too as an offensive player, but never lost his glove, and then found it and became the offensive player he is. But it's a priority on defense. There's a personality and identity that comes with defense. We have a pitching staff that gets a ton of ground balls. So we're really trying to tighten up the defense here. It's been a focal point. It's been an emphasis, and every day we're working on it. Same with the pitchers, a lot of PFP going on. We try to, emphasize, hey, look, everything's going to be important to us. We understand, the hitting in the pitching part of it, but there's defense, there's base running. We want to be good at everything, and we started that process on day one.
Bob Melvin, the voice you hear. Okay, sort of maybe I could probably anticipate your answer will probably be I'm focusing on what's going on in the field. But one of the weird things going on in the industry is this Scott Boras stare down. And the Giants have been linked to a couple of those names that are out there. We don't need to get into it. People say Blake Snell, Matt Chapman, whatever. Do you have a philosophy on how you handle that, and that there's guys out there that you might add to the team, and yet you're still coaching the team you have? I mean, what's your philosophy on that?
I focus on what I have here.
Yeah.
And then if that changes, it changes. But I like our group, and I've liked the changes that we've made too. I like our team here right now. As a front office, and what Farhan and Pete do is always look to try to make your team better, and that never stops. So that's ongoing. But when I talk to them about trades and stuff, it's like, don't tell me until we're like on the 2-yard line, because I don't want to focus on that. I don't want that distraction. I want to work with the group we have.
So go ahead, sorry, Marcus. But third base was Chapman. Like, he would be that guy. But you have guys there. You have J.D.
Right.
Davis, possibly Casey Schmidt. The one
Flores can play there too, yeah.
What's that?
Wilmer.
Yeah,
as
Wilmer,
well,
of course, who led the team in homers last year. The shortstop position is the interesting one because of the kid that's out there right now has basically no track record. What's your philosophy on the Marco Luciano sort of, I don't want to say experiment, but opportunity he has at shortstop?
He should embrace it, right? That he's going to get that opportunity, but nothing's given to you at the big league level. So, Tyler Fitzgerald plays there too, and we got a kid Lopez here. Casey Schmidt can play there too. So look, you're given an opportunity. You have to take advantage of it, and that's what the spring's going to be all about for him.
And it's going to be a big leap for a lot of the prospects that we saw make their debut last year, whether we're talking Marco Luciano, Casey Schmidt, Patrick Bailey, who we talked to this morning. I think one of the biggest differences I've seen is the physical shape that these guys are coming into camp this year. Whether we're talking about a Luis Maltos, also in that kind of conversation, how big of an impact do you think year 2 going in for these guys and the extra weight to kind of last that 162 marathon?
Right, so you learn a lot about yourself in year 1, and the organization's really good about identifying, whether it's player plans going into the offseason, need to work on it, whether it's our S&C group that, maybe more weight, maybe less weight, maybe more strength in a particular area. They're really precise on when guys leave for the offseason and what they need to work on, and our guys have been very good about doing that.
Yeah, they look pretty good, and obviously Pat Bailey and his 1,000-calorie shakes is a topic. It's funny, you talk about the catching. We talked to you about that last Friday. You as a cat, you talked about Joey Bart. The guy nobody's talking about is Tom Murphy. Just kind of wondering, what he's brought to the table, his role. You had mentioned Pat maybe 2 out of every 3. So Murphy's the other guy. What do you see?
Well, it's like having another coach on the field. So when you watch him in bullpens, he's really involved in what the pitcher's trying to accomplish. We even go into bullpens with kind of plans on what they need to work on, and if they get off it, Murph's on it right away. So, where your arm is, where your body positioning is, his good feel for where he needs to set up to try to make corrections for pitchers, and he's been a great resource. And you always want to have, a veteran catcher that understands that dynamic and is able to play in that, I don't want to say backup role, because he's going to get his share of games too, and he's hit left-handed pitching really well, but is able to handle that, because typically a backup or a platoon role sometimes can be tough on younger players.
Now, when it comes to handling the staff this year, it appears that going to the season, you guys are going to go with a younger rotation, and that's something that has changed since the last time we talked to you, is the injury to Keaton Wynn. So talk to us about the latest update on Keaton and how that affects the competition on the back end of the rotation for those number 4 and 5 spots.
Yeah, it's mild, but this early in camp like this, we want to make sure this doesn't come back again. So we're talking about it now, how long we're going to try to back him off. But it gives opportunities for a lot of younger guys here. And you've seen that's kind of the theme with the guys that we've either traded or let go. It's been more about bringing this promising pitching group to the forefront. So I'm not going to handicap anything right now. We're still just looking at bullpens. Until we get into games, that's when you really start evaluating and understanding how guys handle adversity, how they, maybe compete a little bit harder, one guy or another. And you really start to see that more so when games start. So it's pretty easy to see kind of the first 3, 4 right now, 3 in particular. But I do like having competition in camp, and when you have younger guys, they're very inspired to try to make a name for themselves.
A few more minutes here with Bob Melvin, kind enough to join us here with the Fungo here in the Scottsdale Stadium broadcast booth. Giants, Saturday against the Cubs. John Miller and Dwayne Kuiper will be in these chairs calling the game on KNBR, noon back in the Bay Area. There's nothing like a prize prospect in baseball. It's one of the great part of the romance of the game, and that's Kyle Harrison. And I'm just wondering how you're handling him psychologically, physically. They say the sky's the limit for a kid like that. What's your strategy?
So, about strategy, but talking to him about, look, that you're going to get a great opportunity here. And, for younger guys, tinkering with multiple pitches sometimes isn't the way to go. We have a analytic department here that's always looking at grips and spins and how we can get better, right? But you have to build a foundation to start. He's got an electric fastball. He's got a good changeup. He's got a pretty good breaking ball that he's working on right now. Trying to streamline and find the right breaking ball to go with his fastball and changeup right now is probably the way to go. And then you, after you really establish those, and when things get going poorly, that you have pitches that you can really be confident in, then you move on to the next pitch. It's similar to Logan Webb, right? Fastball changeup. Now it's a breaking ball too. He's gone about it the right way. So that's kind of what we're trying to impress upon him right now.